One. Hi guys, Mr. Jaeger here, and welcome back. Welcome back to Star Citizen. Today, we return to our old friend, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, this year, 2955. It has been 6 years since I started doing this, and on to the 6th year we go. So some of you may be wondering, Jaeger, didn't you say that you were stopping YouTubing for a while? And I did say that, but, well, a couple of things. First, we're still in the time frame of me trying to fix and sort out some other bits and pieces whilst I also manage life. So, kind of still in that we've not quite finished YouTube yet. But second, and more importantly, the IAE and Invictus launch weeks are events that I personally find are my favorite times of the year. Every year for the last 6 years, I come to these events, talk about my favorite ships in one of my favorite games, and I get to see the progress of Star Citizen as it gets developed and new features and new systems are coming through. So no, I will not lie. Part of me feels like this is something I could easily do for many years yet. So he says, I'm now going to back up that bold statement with confidence. Hopefully, as I improve my computer and get extra stuff, I'm aiming to get a better graphics card at some point this year, so the frames will actually be a little better. But this is the weekend at the time of this recording, so my frames will inevitably die, and also my recording software, for some reason, likes to crash when playing Star Citizen. So that's a fun thing. But yes, so for those who don't know, what is IAE? Why are you suddenly coming onto this channel? Well, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo is an event both in lore and in real life that celebrates a number of different ship manufacturers and showcases the latest stuff to come into Star Citizen. It's probably CIG's best time of the year because all the new players get to try this game out. And see all the players who don't have an account, like people haven't pledged an account and joined, can fly free for like a week and a bit. Players who are fans of the game can sort of get ships that they're not normally available, and there's even some ships that are on very limited time offers on well, I've seen standing on a chair, but I haven't seen sitting standing on a chair. That's impressive. But you have the ability to see all of the different ship manufacturers and be able to rent them out and try them for yourself, which is pretty cool. Of course, this year is the new style of our IAE. Previously, in older years, they used to have us go on each particular day would have a different ship manufacturer, and basically I would run through each particular day. Oh, handy. So, oh no. I was like, oh, that's nice. Someone upstairs wants to take it upstairs. Then I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, so each of these particular days are not so much days of the ship manufacturer, but instead days that you can rent out their various ships, with the last few days being able to get all of them. But so it's a bit of a shame. I personally kind of miss the days where you could go. Each particular day would be like Drake Day or Anvil Day or Origin Jumpworks Day, if you honestly like that. But still, days that are enjoyable, new things to try out and see, and it'd be exciting to see everything. But instead, we have got an all-in-one package. So what I'm going to do to make things a little easier is I'm going to strap this video down into basically two halves to try and minimize the size of this recording. He says optimistically. I'm gonna very much highlight the optimism in that statement. So we're gonna look through all of the different ships, and we're gonna have a little bit of go around. I'll probably do like the central bit and like maybe one of the rooms, and then I'll obviously fill up the other half with the remaining rooms as we're looking through. So without further ado, let's get started on this year's 2955 IAE with the smallest ship in the room. So we begin our journey with the RSI's latest contribution to the industrial game, the RSI Salvation. This is a starter salvager ship costing about $50 to $60 war bond, $60 on the standalone, and it's designed to, well, it's a starter salvager. The only other salvager that is, well, previously was the starter salvager was the Vulture. Vulture being from Drake Interplanetary. But this vessel is very much a case of a singular salvage pod thing with a ejection port at the rear, which you can see here. And it basically can stack up to 6 boxes in the cargo bay, and then a rather large and about 6 in the depot itself. So you can get about 12 SCUs worth of RMC in this. I mean, it's not a bad vessel. Now, for a long time, I kept sort of going umming and ahhing over it, because I can't honestly... like, before I flew it, I kind of looked at it, and I was like, you know what, this thing's kind of alright. I don't really know what I think about it, sort of thing. But I took it for a spin, rented it out, took it for a little spin, and had a fly around. And I can say that I can definitely see the value in this, not just for the new flyer out there, but also for someone who wants to incorporate some smaller salvager craft that can't quite get to all the nooks and crannies for it, which is fair enough. I mean, she comes with 2 cinch salvage heads, which probably not the best ones to start with. I would say either trawler or a braid would probably be better, just because the cinch, while it gets the most material, it also has the smallest area of effect with, like, the most time to take on any kind of salvage, which I don't think is a good way to introduce salvage. So I think if I was to own one of these vessels, I definitely feel like I would trade out the the cinch for the abrade salvage. So for a beginner salvager could potentially could promote the wrong image in terms of like how fun salvaging can be. But at the same time, I can't deny it's a good ship, very fucking maneuverable with the strafe and the forwards and backwards. Roll and pitch, not as good as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I'd say it's pretty solid overall, and definitely has a place in this world. I will agree on that. It definitely has a place in this world. I didn't think it would, but here we go. It's one of those things that you kind of I guess it is to don't judge a book by its covers, because I honestly didn't think it was going to do much until I flew it, and now I'm like, okay, no, there's a fairness into that. Moving to the next vessel, we are introducing ourselves to a ship that almost needs no introduction. This is the L-21 Wolf. This is the breakout ship from Crusader Intergalactic. A ship that, in my opinion, absolutely took the Star Citizen's world by storm. Crusader Intergalactic was previously known for their snub fighters that they put onto... Let's see if I can do this. Yes! No step, I step on you. Fuck you. Anyway, so... The Crusader Intergalactic was a company that previously were only known for their P-51 Merlin and P-72 Archimedes, which both were very good ships, and I definitely feel like they contributed a lot to Constellation owners' pride. But I feel like I said in previous years, I would love to see a ship like something that would be independent of that, and I believe Crusader Intergalactic really nailed that with the L-21. So obviously, with its size 4 bespoke ballistic repeaters and 4 or 8 size 1 missiles in both wingspans, which is four in each wingspan, which is pretty nice. They had to make a second one. So they had to obviously make a second one. This time, it's the Laz edition, which honestly has one of the better skins for it. Like, this reminds me of not the N1, because obviously everyone remembers the N1 from the L-21. So I'm going to remember this one with this skin as the Naboo transporter craft from the Phantom Menace. This skin, this textures and everything just gives me that vibe, and I get the sound effect from the engine as well, which is awesome. But you can also see a couple of notable differences. The first, obviously, is these really sexy spoilers at the back, or the fins at the back, which I think look really good. She is also a little bit chunkier, but given the fact that you've got 2 size 4 las weapons on the sides, it's obviously they're bespoke and unique to this particular craft. Yeah, it's going to be a bit chunkier, but not just because of the power requirements. You've got 6 size 2 missiles in total, which is like, okay, someone's bringing their A game to the party, and obviously the name... obviously reflects that, because it's listed as the Alpha Wolf, which, of course, is not going to cause any heated arguments whatsoever amongst friends who own the various ships. I've flown the L-21 for a little bit, and I do like it. I will trade up, though, eventually, because I feel like it's not really the ship for me. As much as it's the fastest vessel I've ever flown, and it can go in and out of atmo with like a dog's bollocks, it is... no, that's not really the right term, but fuck it. We're talking about wolves, it'll count. This vessel is very fast, and it can zip through no trouble, and I had a lot of fun. Even in limited combat moments, I did have a lot of fun flying this thing. But I feel like it's not really the ship for me, and I definitely feel like I need to move on. But I have very much enjoyed owning it for the time that I have had, and it's probably been one of the fastest vessels I've ever had the pleasure to fly. And I do hope we get to see more kinds of ships from Crusader Intergalactic. I personally am a fan of seeing a larger vessel, perhaps, from Crusader Intergalactic. More to see about from the more aesthetical choice, rather than from anything distinctively like... more from like that than distinctive anything like I just want a bigger fighter ship. But yeah, no. Crusader Intergalactic. Good lads, you done good. Not done so good. So we move over to another ship which was recently introduced, I believe this year. I almost want to say it's this year. It's been so long since it came out. It feels like it's been so long since it came out, but it hasn't really made a huge impact in my personal opinion. This is the Orison Meteor. It's a sort of medium, fighter based on the Mantis chassis. Now, for those who've not heard of the Mantis, it's basically a quantum interdiction quantum interdiction ship, which in the rear of the section, a giant spherical spherical energy is generated, which causes an expanding sphere that catches people whilst they're quantuming in the bubble. So this vessel, unlike its counterpart, actually has weapons to do something about the enemies. You've got two size 5 bespoke, or I don't know what the brain's kind of failing English at this point, so I'm just going to call it bespoke. But what I mean is you can't change these weapons out. Static, there's the word I was looking for. So you've got these two static size 5 cannons with 4 size 3 Kronig cannons as well. Not really my personal choice, considering that you've already got cannon on the side of your ship. I would probably have gone with either a ballistic repeaters or repeaters, but still. One of the things I am curious, though, and we're actually going to find out today, is what does the interior of the updated vessel look like in comparison to its counterpart? Because I'm not going to lie, the Mantis's interior was atrocious. It is my least favorite interior because it feels like a claustrophobic's nightmare. So, the drum roll in my head, please. And... oh! They've improved it! They've actually improved it. Well done, CIG. You've actually done a good job with this. Yeah, no, this is a lot better than the other one. Previously, the other one just had a bed, a toilet, a pilot seat, and that was pretty much it. What's this? Oh, this looks like a weapon rack. Yes, this is a weapon rack. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, no, this feels way more spacious and way better than in comparison to the previous, in comparison to the Mantis. Like, the Mantis shares the same exact space, but you feel like you're in it feels so much more claustrophobic in that environment. Oh, what's this? Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay. But yeah, the view from the Mantis is actually pretty solid. So you can see a decent amount the way out, and it is a pretty, when you've got backup and stuff with the Mantis, it's definitely a good combat ship. But, yeah, it's not a ship that I personally would say is one that I'm going to be aiming for in that realm. This is the slowest elevator known to mankind. Okay. It's like, by the time you get out, Squadron 42 will be released. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so, yes, the Mantis. Well, no, Meteor. I personally don't like the ship. It just doesn't visually appeal to me. Don't get me wrong, if it can do good combat, then I will, tip my hat. Its interior is a lot better than the Mantis, and if it can maneuver, then yeah, okay, fair enough. That's a good sign of improvement, but I don't think this is something that I would necessarily say is where I'm going to really be paying much attention to, and I personally haven't seen one in the verse outside of maybe one or two exceptional moments, like a combat bounty or whatever. I'd like to see more of them. I think if AI can get a bit more into it, that would be kind of cool. So obviously we're going to be talking about the Perseus, and the Perseus will be mentioned, but we're going to talk about something else a little bit first, because these things still need to be mentioned, because this is definitely an RSI celebration, and what better way to celebrate in style than to take the Lynx for a spin. Yes, the wheels look fucked up. Just going to say yes, they do. This is because most of the things in these displays are a kind of static model edition, so they will have a slight element of bugginess and lagginess and whateverness to them. But no, so this is the Lynx, which is a luxurious edition of the Ursa rover. Unlike the Ursa rover, which is just a van with a bunch of seats in the back, this one is well, it's a van with a couple of seats in the back, but these seats are padded leather. And look, Lynx, there's words on the bottom. That way you know it's luxurious. And unlike Origin Jump Works, you don't feel like you want to punch the person who owns one of these things. So the Lynx still has an element of practicality to it, because obviously here you've got a weapons rack, you've got a, well, okay, this is more of an Origin Jump Works item, but ignore that. But you can see here, there's the extra Corinthian leather style chairs with the really cool options to twist. Look at this. Look, I press a button. If the game would let me press a button. Game, let me press a button. I had the option. Look, press button. And the chair turns. Yes, for luxury. But no, there's a really cool skylight in the back here. And if you're the kind of person who wants to take their friend out on a very strange date, where you've got like two guys in the back front of the Vic providing cover whilst you would have a friend with your really fancy turnstiles, then there you go. But no, this vessel is a luxurious transport, and depending on the future in terms of luxury job transport things, we may find that we need to have this in order to get a certain people to donate larger amounts to your orgs or your clans or whatever. Who knows, maybe there'll be some RP groups who will be like, unless you can give me the finest caviar this side of Terra, I'm not going to give you a single credit. You know, that kind of shit. Oh my god, I just wanted to pirate that fucker so bad. I'm not even a pirate, and I want to pirate that person who sounds like that. It's stupid. Anyway, moving on. We'll get to you in a second, big boy. Don't you be moving. Don't you be moving. Oh, you sexy little baby, you. I'm not even a combat guy, and I fucking love this thing. It is, gonna just say right now, the sexiest ship of 2025. I dare you to find me a ship that's sexier, apart from Argo Astronautics, but that's in the eye of the beholder. So, moving on to one of the ships that, in my opinion, has the best cockpit in the world in terms of Star Citizen, and it's made by the company that has the worst cockpit design in the world. It is, of course, the Fortune, which unfortunately, not intended as that as a joke, for some reason has decided to be the most awkward to get to. So I suppose the Fortune is being able to find a way up to here. But this is the Misk Fortune. It's a ship that came out not too long after the Drake Vulture. And basically what it is an alternative form of salvaging it's an alternative form of salvaging. So this vessel can carry up to 12 SCU, not 16, 12 SCU of cargo boxes, singular SCU boxes on this side here. So you've got 6 on one side, 6 on t'other, and then you also have 6 in the depot, giving you about 24 SCUs worth of cargo to work with, which is kind of nice. But one of the main reasons why this ship, I mean, apart from the textures of the skin, like, I do like this, though I also am liking the rivets and stuff to it as well. Like, you can see that it's beautiful from a distance, but when you get close up to it, you get the whole shebang, as it were. Oh, would you look at that? A lift that doesn't take fucking ages to get up. Maybe RSI could learn something. But no, so this particular edition of the Misk Prospector chassis, because this is what this is originally based off, has a really good interior with component access on either side and a really nice walkthrough section and obviously here's the salvage little docking point here. So you can see here the ability for you to, like, improve. Oh, it is 13, not 12. Okay, I was wrong by a bit. I guess there's like an extra one from that. But hey ho. Okay, so you've got like 12 SCU on the side, and then at a 13 to that. So that's 25. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, bearing in mind, you've only got one salvage head, unlike the Vultures 2, and depending on what kind of salvage run, like, this is definitely a solo man's job. So I mean, you could squeeze a bit more in. Like, I can tell you right now, you get this cargo door down, you are going to be able to fit maybe 2 or 3 more boxes. Like, if you keep a line of boxes, you could definitely get more in. I probably might need to, like, rent this ship out for a time, or probably purchase it and then see what will happen. You see, if I can sell ships, I think that would be the cool thing. If we could sell ships in Star Citizen into, like, a merchant or whatever, that would be dope. But yes, here's the interior for the living accommodation. You've got your beds, you've got your shield, you've got your computers, you've got all the usual shebangs, as well as a bathroom with a shit shower. But the most important thing about any ship like the Prospector is this cockpit. Look at the visuals of this cockpit. It is the best cockpit in the game so far. I will fight you on this. You have a beautiful 180-degree view with a beautiful downwards and upwards, a pretty decent about 20 to 30 degree upwards on that one. I know we're currently looking down, so it's kind of hard to sort of judge. But the big thing as well, unlike, for some reason, every other fucking vessel in the MISC fleet, is that the cockpit isn't obstructed by a giant fucking wall of panels and shit. All of the upper areas here on this thin bar line here, this is where you're going to get your heads-up display. Again, this is the showroom edition, so it's half fucked, but generally you get all of the different showrooms, the holographics of your cockpit from here, with all the MFDs, right on the top, thus giving you complete and full view of the front of the ship, and it is absolutely wondrous. I fucking love this thing, and I love this particular cockpit, and I honestly wish MISC would stop doing their stupid design of craft normally and do it properly like the rest of us would and just make more of these. This is why I find it so immensely vexing that this ship is like a rarity in the lineup for MISC Industrial. It honestly just vexes me so. But still, if you want to get into salvaging but you can't be fucked to deal with all the whole moving shit around too much, this is as good as it's going to get for you for sure. Definitely. Oh, I was about to go to the wrong side. Oh. Hello, darling. This is my favorite ship manufacturer in Star Citizen. If you could not tell, I am not the pirating nor the racing kind of player. I am the industrial kind of player. I find the cargoing, the hauling, the gathering of the resources, the building, the manufacturing, all of it is my particular shebang. And my favorite ship manufacturer in Star Citizen has to be Argo Astronautics. They are chef's kiss quality. Not just in terms of their aesthetics, but in terms of their practical and effective design work. And this ship is the shining example of it. But ironically enough, this ship used to not be it for quite some time. I'll elaborate. The Raft is based on the Mole chassis of vessels. This was like the first lineup of the Argo Astronautics style of ship outside of their MPUVs, which is, of course, what is currently going on in there. So the Raft is basically a dedicated cargo transport, which, in comparison to the Mole, which is the multi-operator laser extractor, they swapped out the mining lasers and everything else, and then they've plopped on a simple habitation unit and a pilot seat and also a crane thing. And originally when this ship came out, this vessel had 3 32 SCU containers held on by cranes. And originally that was all right. That was what was going to happen and everything was fine. Except it's not really, because when the physicalized cargo started to come out, a glaring issue was discovered in the form of, well, shit, we can't really work with these crane things anymore. So CIG and a genius at Argo Astronautics decided to swap up their designs and give us, instead of 3 cranes that are barely able to contain 1 box, is to completely scrap the cranes and replace it with a cargo grid akin to what you would see on a Hull series of vessel. But not only did the geniuses decide to make it a bloody cargo grid, they then decided to make it as easy as possible for you to utilize with a tractor beam as well. And I think that's a size 2 tractor beam as well. So not only do you have the ability to use a piss-easy cargo grid that is very distinctive from what is and what isn't cargo grid, you also then have the luxury of having a tractor beam. And on top of that, the fuckers have then increased the bloody cargo capacity from 96 to 192 SCUs worth of cargo. And on top of that, they also then decided, hey, there's this really cool resource drive event coming up. Let's do it so that this ship is going to be practically begging to be used for the one event that could possibly shoot it into stardom. You fucking geniuses, CIG. The ship became a fucking legend overnight, and now you'd be hard-pressed to find any location that requires any industrial or logistical means without seeing this thing flying around the verse. It is brilliant. It's got VTOL capabilities. It's technically a crew for 2, but you can solo this. To be fair, when engineering becomes a factor, this could be changing, but you can run this with 1 or 2 crew members. There is technically a crew-operated tractor beam up at the top, but there's also a tractor beam option in the co-pilot seat. Sadly, we can't get in this edition. We can't get into this particular thing because of the bugged-out state of the ship in the model display form. Someone opened up the docking collar and helped out, and that's actually ironically an old bug that used to happen in the older editions of the ship. So. Oh, the ship. It's amazing. I love it. I'm going to fully say that this ship is my kind of thing because it's industrial, but it's not just gritty. It's like, hey, look, this ship is glorious. It's got big open, like big orangey colors, but it works. It's not rusting away like most of the industrial ships. They actually get industrial right. It's like, look, you have pride in your work and you get good shit done. We're not fancy, but we look good doing it. And that's what I love about the Argo Astronautic ships, which is why I am secretly craving, begging, and drooling over the concept of a medium salvager being made by Argo Astronautics. I crave the day that we can have something that can spit out 8 or 12 SCU boxes of salvage, and I'm done. Money is on the table. I'm not even caring what day of the week it is, whether it's payday or if I'm just about to lose out on my on my rent. I am fucking buying that because Jesus Christ, like that meme with the guy who sees the thing and then smashes his card on the table. That is me. Anyway, enough of the hype aside. This is the MPUV Tractor. So this was the vessel that Argo Astronautics used to show pretty much at every event, both Invictus and in IAE. And previously, this particular thing made its own impact fairly well. The tractor is a new one, but basically you had one with a cargo box with people inside, you've got one that was virtually empty, and you have one that just transports some people around. This vessel, I feel like, is kind of like combining all of the MPUV variants and like squishing them into one, which is fine. It's kind of what you need to do anyway. But the essence of this ship is kind of at risk now, because although she's got a size 2 tractor beam at the front and a size 1 at the rear, her role in terms of moving cargo about in a localized area may be at risk because of the Golem Ox, which we'll be seeing potentially in this part or the next part. I'm not entirely sure how long we really want to run this thing, but I think I'll focus on the Drake Interplanetary on the first section here, and then we'll get their other stuff done for that bit. But anyway, this particular ship is definitely is still a nice vessel, and I think it will have some presence in the field in the future. But unfortunately, with the Golem Ox now becoming with the Golem Ox being released, that future is in doubt, and we'll have to wait and see what kind of plans players and the developers of Star Citizen, also known as CIG, would be having for such a vessel that has a limitation such as the MPUV. So, here we are in the warehouse. Now, admittedly, I did try and record this during the IAE event, but often we found that there was A, lots of people, and B, lots of people leaving doors locked, causing lots of problems. So I thought, rather than do that and get the most hyped ship of the event not done properly, I feel like I should owe it to this vessel to at least do it properly. So this is the RSI Perseus. This absolute monster of a ship. The most hyped vessel for the last 5 years. Actually, no, the most hyped vessel for this IAE, but this ship was announced 5 years ago. And my second IAE event. And it is a beast. So it's to summarize the sort of the vessel, it is a dedicated gunboat slash cap ship attack, which has size 5 torpedoes, and it's designed to, here we go, you can see these beautiful rows of size 5 torps. So it's got 2 size 5 torp launchers with a rather large carrying capacity, as you can see. That's just beautiful. 20 bloody, like 20 and 40 fucking size 5s. Oh. But yes, so this is the main cargo bay sector in this particular door, which is famous for having the basketball court, which I've yet to figure out how to actually get it down. I've seen people talk about it, and it's a thing, but I've yet to figure out how to utilize it. I've not got this one, obviously. But yes, the the Perseus, there we go, is designed... Oh, there it is! That's just so cool. So you get it to the other side, right? Yeah, you get it to the other side. So, yes, there's the basketball court. The famous basketball court. That's actually kind of hilarious, I'm not going to lie. But no, this vessel is basically a combat patrol ship. Not a long-range patrol ship due to the lack of any medical facilities and the like, but a ship that is capable of doing a decent amount of fair damage with its 2 size 8 cannons, which we'll just quickly hop into, just to highlight these beauties. Yeah, like this ship is, like, apart from 4.4, in 4.4, the main hype for the patch, if it wasn't going to be Nyx, it would have been this, for sure. So, if we turn on the power. So, for those who've played or seen the Squadron 42 trailer, or the Squadron 42 preview, this thing feels very much like that, doesn't it? I'm going to see how loud these things are. So these are the 2 size 3 Mantises, and then you have the RSI Medusa cannon. Yeah, size 8s. Originally size 7s, but I believe they upgunned the guns to size 8. So you've got Mantises on the top, and then you've got the Medusa in the bottom, which is dope as all hell. So this ship is most capable of handling the rather large threats that we are expecting to see coming out of the Nyx universe, because, oh my Jesus, she'd be nice. I mean, to be fair, the size 5 torps on their own would have been perfect for me. But then on top of that, we have the absolute wondrous nature of the size 7 and size 8 and size, I'm gonna go with size 3 Mantis repeaters on the ballistic repeaters. So engineering in the back, a little bit of a ship tour. So engineering towards the back is actually a really awesomely sized room, easy access to all of the components involved alongside here, and obviously the engineering terminal, which supposedly is due to come out in 4.5. So already, this winter's patch is going to receive quite a bit of hype. Then we have the mess hall, which is a pretty decent, like, it's actually quite well sized mess hall, which is pretty dope. It has a pool table, arguably one of the better looking ones that we've seen. It's also noticeably blank, which is a little bit of a shame, but I like RSI's ideology. Seriously, CIG, you tease us with pool tables, but I don't see you making the functionality of them. Come on now. But yeah, so there's the mess table. And then we have crew quarters on the opposite side. And yeah, that's actually pretty good. So you can have a crew of about 5-6 guys. And apparently there's only one toilet, which is a little concerning. Is it the shit shower? Oh, it's an actual toilet. Oh, no, there's a shower. Oh, what's this? Ooh, armory. Yeah, Yes, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, so there's the armory. Obviously, you know it's an armory because red. To be fair, that is pretty cool. But no, the... Oh, cool. Yes. The mirror that works, but not really. I would love to know why it does that, but hey-ho. So... Cool, very nice. So the crew size, you could effectively run this ship at this present moment, obviously with engineering coming into the game in the next patch. This ship's life as a heavy combat vessel is going to be in doubt. Now, the thing that I'm little bit not sure on, there is a main elevator, which allows you to access to different parts of the ship, without a doubt, and it's really cool. And there is a ladder on both sides, which so you can access... As you can see behind, you've got access to all of the necessary things. By the way, random patch came recently. Well, I say recently. This, I believe, was from 4.3, but I like this. The ability to do this, really freaking nice. But no, as I was mentioning before, you can have the ability to enter the ladder from the first floor. But in order to get to the second, or to leave towards getting to the first floor again, you will have to use the elevator because there doesn't seem to be an option to jump off at the sides yet. Or at least I've yet to get it to work that way. Anyway, moving up to the captain's quarters at the stern section of the ship. It's very much a captain's quarters. Like, if you are a fan of the captain's quarters, if you're a fan of the quarters, then yes, this is the ultimate captain's quarters. And the reason why I say that is because if I go over, trying to find a thing to put down. It's about there-ish. So... I'm going to pop a very visible thing. What do I want to put visibly down? You know what? We'll pop this down. There you go. That should hopefully be showing, right? Yeah, there we go. So, note the item on the floor there. If I was to take a seat in my captain's chair, and I was like, oh, I've got someone wanting to say hello to me, I can look down and see that that's there. And then if I want to if I want to deploy this, so I want to sit in my captain's chair, minding my own business, and I see that if I want to see that the multi-tool is there, I can press this button, and the door opens. I have a remote control door. And if I'm having a mutiny on the crew, I can lock the door. That's mental. That is honestly mental. Oh, that's so cool. That is actually one of the better doors features. I'm kind of hoping that becomes a thing. Maybe not the security door thing all the time, but the captain's quarters having the access to that. That is cool. That is very, very cool. So, there you go. And obviously, the big thing that a lot of people talk about is how thick the armor is. So you can see from this window here just how much armor plating this vessel has. So, she a thick boy. Which doesn't make any sense. So she a thick girl. I think it's the fucking meme, isn't it? That's sort of like, damn boy, he's thick. But yeah, the other thing though, which is actually pretty cool, is that this vet has a nice little vista option over here. So the Perseus has this random deck, which I really like actually. It's kind of the vape deck, if you will, as one of my friends has mentioned. But it does give you the opportunity. Once you've got mag boots in place, or if you're just wanting to look at in Atmo, this is a very, very nice view. And I think it will be very, very pleasant. But again, the armor levels is unreal for absolute definite. And of course, here is the bridge. So you've got your co-pilot gunner seat over here. Then there's the co-pilot seat over here. And then, of course, you've got the actual pilot/captain seat as well. So, the armaments for this vessel kind of go without saying, but almost go without saying, but there are a number of turreted options dependent on what kind of crew you've got. So you've obviously got the two manned turrets. You've got the one at the top and the one down below. You've also got remote turrets on the top as well as PDCs as well. So, or PDS, I should say. So this vessel is absolutely ready for, like, this is an intensely beautiful combat ship. I would argue Orison's most stunning ship released to date. And I think this thing is going to be an absolute dream in the hands of those using it, and an absolute nightmare for those who are going up against it, which is understandable. Come the future as well, come the future though, the actually I might do what all people do at the events and pinch the relay because this is a rental. But no, so this particular ship is going to be an absolute beast when it comes to the release into more combat arenas, and obviously with more features coming into Star Citizen, we're going to be seeing a lot more. Nice. Oh, nice! You can actually send the elevator down that way as well. I think it's this one. No, this is the 2 docking bay doors as well, but we'll open it. Oh no, this is actually the cargo lift as well. Nice. Yeah, so the cargo that the ship can carry is about 96 SCU's worth of carrying capacity. It probably could take an Ursa rover. Actually, I don't know. I don't think you could. I don't think you can. That's a little bit disappointing. Actually, no. You probably... if you don't deploy the gun, you could probably sneak the Ursa into it, but it would be a tight squeeze. And to be fair, you wouldn't really want to be taking those kind of things, because this ship isn't really designed to go out on its own. It's a dedicated, it's a dedicated warfighting vessel, but it's not like a Polaris or a Carrack where you can send it out on long expeditions and it'll do its own thing. This vessel is very much a case of you put it alongside its supporting venues to provide necessary cover to the fleet, or you utilize it as part of a squadron to try and eliminate larger threat targets. So all in all, it's a really fantastic ship. I am not really. I mean, I don't. Yes, it sounds nice. I'd like to have one, but I realize, yeah, it's a combat ship. Not really my particular cup of tea when it comes to the kind of gameplay I'm looking for in Star Citizen. But what I can't deny is just how beautiful she looks and how well the design's gone into this vessel. Like 5 years ago she was announced. I remember I did the IAE around it. Actually, no, I think it was Invictus that it was announced. So yeah, I was there at the start, and here I am 5 years later at the sheer scale of this magnificent beast. Jesus Christ. What the hell are they going to come up with next? So, there is the Perseus. And there is, unfortunately, someone who couldn't quite handle the aura that the Perseus had. It happens to us all. I almost died when I first looked at it, so it happens. That's what happens when you're not a pro. Anyway, so there it is for the first half of this video. What I will be doing as mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm going to break this particular thing up into 2 parts, because while we've done the main room, and we've done a decent amount of chunks into that one, it's not a hugely lengthy process. I'm going to split this up into little different parts, because we're going to be talking a lot about the different ships and the different vessels around it. So we're just going to quickly run all the way back over to here, because there we go. So, as mentioned, we've done a little tour of this real area here, and in the next episode, we're going to be looking at all the different parts of the hall. So, we've got the sort of Xeno hall there, the Anvil / Fighter hall over there. We then have the Crusaders and stuff over here, followed closely by all the other shenanigans. So, yes, I would say we've got a decent amount of work ahead of us for this one, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this first half, and do let me know what you think in the comment section below about the new layout system for Invictus. I can see why we're doing it this way and why things are being done in that manner. I just think it's a bit of a shame, because I personally liked having the multiple days as part of the IAE. But regardless, I think that's going to be fair. Regardless, though, I want to hear your thoughts on the matter. And what do you think of the ships? I mean, do you like the Meteor? Do you like the Wolves? Obviously, you like the Perseus. I mean, come on. It's the fucking Perseus. Who doesn't like the Perseus? I think you'll be finding cults of the I mean, there's a YouTuber who's pretty much building a cult around the damn thing. So, you know, let's not kid ourselves here. Anyway, I'm going to go quickly buy my character some very nice, refreshing drinks, because, yeah, I've been pissing through my cruise lux quite a bit lately. So, I will see you all in the next one. This is Mr. Jaeger. Oh, the lighting, okay. But yes, this is Mr. Jaeger signing out. I'll see you in the second half.